Peugeot's success after the Second World War depended on its medium-sized model, the 203. Times were hard. It was the post-war period, a time of cutting back and shortages when steel, electricity and petrol were in short supply. The 203 then was a shortage model, but aimed all the same at a clientele able to afford a middle-class, medium-sized car pitched between a smaller people's model and a larger luxury automobile. It was a model that would be a big hit for Peugeot, insofar as hundreds of thousands of cars were made at Sochaux. This car was replaced in 1955 by another model, the 403. The first Peugeot vehicle to be designed by the car designer Pininfarina. It was an evolution of the 203, in the sense that the 403 was aimed in 1955 at baby boom families, at people working in professions benefiting from the increased wealth of those prosperous years. The 403 would enjoy even bigger success than the 203, making Peugeot the real specialist in France, but also in Europe, of the accessible, medium-sized model. In the swinging 60s, Peugeot brought out an even more opulent saloon than before, the 404. This was another medium-sized vehicle in the Peugeot tradition, with a reputation for sturdiness. The great characteristic of Peugeot cars was probably the fact that they were slightly oversized, giving the customer something really substantial. This may also be a reason why this family saloon won one of the world's toughest races, the East African Safari. The same race was later won by the 504, the successor to the 404. This was another opulent saloon, perfectly at home in these boom years, when the French and European economies were truly flourishing. These two cars, the 504 and the 404, enjoyed great success as exports, allowing Peugeot to begin a policy of internationalization, which saw the brand establish itself on the African continent and also in South America. Peugeot had become the specialist of the medium-sized car. From the 203 in 1947 to the 403 in 1955, the 404 in 1960, and the 504 in 1968, Peugeot had gone from 7 horsepower to 8, 9, and 11. Peugeot kept pace with its customers as they started to enjoy better times and higher salaries. But Peugeot quickly understood that the middle classes are diverse and varied, and realized that having encouraged these classes to buy superior vehicles, a new medium-sized car, slightly more down-market, was now needed. Thus it was that Peugeot was the first car manufacturer in Europe and in the world to understand that there was a need in between the superior medium-sized car and the smaller people's car. For this vehicle, the 204, which in 1965 brought about a veritable cultural revolution in the car world, and of course, a cultural revolution in Peugeot.